Hello everyone, thank you for coming here today, and it's my pleasure to be here with you today to share our story of how do I and my team we contribute our little effort to sustain education. And I really hope that my story will open up more ideas so you and I, all of us as a whole, we can think about how should we sustain education. Come back to 26 years ago when I was a 5 years old little boy in the kindergarten. On the International Women's Day, our families would not have money, so we were not able to buy flour to give it to our teachers. The consequences was the teachers, they behave with me differently, not like the way they treat the other student. I didn't understand why did they do that. 8 months later, on the Vietnamese National Teachers' Day, still, we did not have money to buy flowers to give it to my teachers. But there was another event. Maybe it's lucky, maybe it's unlucky. But I won a small prize on a local drawing contest, and the local television people, they come and they film me. But I didn't have the flower. And those teachers, they think that if I appear on the TV without any flower, that will be a kind of very shaming for the school. So what they did is, they took the flower from another student and they gave me that flower. I have no idea why did they do that, but I'm pretty sure about one thing. That student was not happy, and me neither. I was not happy too. About 10 years ago, I was in a conversation between one of my colleagues and her son. And the mother asked the boys, which one do you prefer, an apple or an orange? It's a very normal question. Some of us like apple and some of us like oranges. There's no problem if 8 billion people on this planet love apple and just only the few people like oranges. But the problem came after the boy replied. He said, I like what my teacher likes. And that response really blew my mind like an atomic bomb inside my mind. It exploded everything. Why? What is going on? Why after 20 years? Not every teacher, but why some teachers still have some negative influence over students? So I did a lot of research. I tried to find out the way how the education system worldwide is working. And 10 years ago, I have the common answer for most education systems in the world. We're not preparing our kids for future. We just prepare them from day to day and from exam to exam. And continuously, I try to find out different approaches so I can renovate the education system in Vietnam. And of course, I couldn't find anything. But on that journey, I find some new friends. To be named, they are Jesus, they are Buddhas. Some people consider Jesus and Buddhas as religious leaders. But in my perspective, they are my friends, and they are also very great teachers. Maybe they are the greatest teachers our mankind have ever had in our history. They did not have modern equipment, modern facilities, but they have great lesson and they have great students. So what are the differences between Jesus and Buddhas and our teachers in our normal lives? It's all about education. It's about the basic education system we're having from kindergarten to high school. It's about higher education, and especially it's about teacher education. But the funny thing is, anyone, any of us can blame any education system, anytime, anywhere, for no reasons. If you do not believe this, I'd like to invite you to a blaming session. And now, let's practice blaming. This is a picture of how people in Hanoi celebrate New Year in 1990. And this is the way we say hello to 2021. And this is a picture of Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport in 1990. And this is our Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport this year. Too many differences. So, what about education? What are the differences between a classroom 30 years ago and today's classroom? Of course, many people can say that we have larger school, we have bigger classroom, we have many facilities, we have laptops, we have bigger screen, we have the AC. But education is not about facility and infrastructure. Education is about how we learn and how we teach. Some conservative people, they have some song, they love to sing that song all the time. Traditional education approaches are okay. I was educated and mature with that education system. There's no need for any educational reform. I learned with that textbook 30 years ago, and now I can earn money to take care of my family. So we don't need any education reform. But on the other side, we also have some people who always face FOMO, the fears of missing out. They might look at the big change in big education system everywhere in the world, or even small changes from the US, from the UK, or from Finland. And then they take that like an example to complain, to criticize the education system in Vietnam. Either way, conservative people or formal people, I believe that those approaches will lead us to nowhere if we're just blaming our education system without any action. So 4 years ago, together with my team, we took a model proposed by Starbucks and his colleagues at UNESCO. It's about how to evaluate the sustainability of a curriculum. There are 4 main elements. First is the development of the curriculum. The second one is the curriculum itself and the implementation of the curriculums. And the last one is how people evaluate those curriculums. And based on those framework, we developed the further assessment tools so we can assess the differences between the curriculum of many schools. How did they develop it? How differences are those curriculums? How do they implement it differently, and how do they look at it to evaluate it for further innovations? So after years and years of working with school and teachers, I realized one thing. Our teachers, they are also victims. If a student has some problem, maybe a mental problem or maybe a physical problem, our teachers will also be here and give their hand to support the children. But if a teacher faces some problem, who will give their hand to support those teachers? Healthcare and education are the 2 biggest public sector in every country. But people are not likely to attack or criticize doctors in the hospital. Because if we attack those doctors, they will disappear and we will die immediately. But some people, they think that they have the right to attack teachers. Because if they attack teachers, those teachers will not disappear and they will not die immediately. That mindset is totally wrong. If we just blaming an education system, we do not die immediately. But as a whole, gradually, we are dying and we will die in the long future. So, last year, we spread out a survey to teachers across Vietnam, and we get more than 1,000 responses. Our question was about what are the biggest issues teachers have to face on the daily basis. Not to surprise, the biggest challenge is about income. They worry a lot about money. Together with that, they also have to deal with a lot of administrative tasks, so many paperwork, as well as the other bureaucratic requirement. They have to study a lot of additional certificates so they can maintain their teacher status. Also, their pressure from principal, from students, from parents, from their families, and also from their peers. So, with our limited resources, we cannot help them to solve all of those issues. But there's one thing I believe, that if we help them to improve their internal capabilities, they themselves will have the power to solve all of those problems. So in every education system, we can see that there are 3 main pillars we are all working around. The first one is curriculum and textbook. As students and parents, we not have many experience working with the curriculum, but I believe that you know the textbook. The second pillar is about teaching and learning, how we teach and how we learn. And the last one is about assessment and evaluations, the small test, the final test, and the graduation exam. So as an NGO, we do not have the right and we do not have the power to change the national curriculum and textbook, as well as assessment and evaluations. So the only room of development, the only opportunity we have here is about how to change the way we teach and the way we learn. And 3 years ago, I initiated the Teaching and Learning magazines. We follow the 4.0 philosophy. It's not relevant to the fourth industrial revolution. Our 4.0 is no salary, no office, no high expertise, and no limitations on time and spaces. And we have dozens of volunteers from around Vietnam and across the globe. They are educators, they are parents, and they are pedagogical students. And our recipe and our formulation of work is very simple. First, we connect dreams. It means we connect the people who are always willing to share with the people who are always willing to learn. Second, we keep everything simple. We distribute a lot of content, activities, and campaigns, but no matter what we deliver to teachers, it must be simple. If it's the content, what it is, and how teachers can use it. If it's a kind of activities, how step by step teacher can do it. So keep it very simple. And the last one, integrity. Integrity here, I do not want to mention morality aspect of integrity. It's just about we do what we say and we only say what we can do. So after 3 years, we issue more than 36 issues of teaching and learning magazines. And we have more than 13,000 frequent readers. And after all the past 3 years, there were one times we missed the deadline. And what we did is, we announced with the massive audience that today we missed the deadline and you will not be able to read this issue on Mondays. You have to wait till tomorrow's morning. And that is how we communicate with them to maintain our integrity. It's the way we show our reputation with them. And in return, they give us their belief. With that belief, we were able to implement further educational campaigns. For example, earlier this year, we introduced the platform cunghoc.edu.vn. It means co-learning or learning together. Some people say that this platform is a kind of Coursera for Vietnamese people. And on this platform now we have more than 20 courses. Everyone can come here and study about how to learn, how to teach, and how to design a lesson. And up till now, we have a team of 84 co-learning ambassadors across Vietnam. They are the people who help us to facilitate these small activities in their local area, their school and the school around their school. And we have the group of growing learners. We have thousands of teachers who learn and share every day. So, to sum up my story, I would like to invite you to visit my small collection. In my small antique collections, there are 2 bronze aces. One has been found from a tomb. It's very crunchy, very easy to be broken. If we just touch it, it may break immediately. And the other one has been found from the river. It's shining, and we can touch it without any concern it may be broken. So after more than 2,500 years, the creation has transformed due to the external influence of the external circumstances. We the people, we also transform like that. But there's one thing different, that inside us, we have the belief and we have the spirit inside. And that spirit can help us to change, to adjust the external circumstances. So, my final message is, without the thinking about the past, we cannot truly understand the future and our opportunities. If I just keep blaming the teachers at my kindergarten, I will lose a lot of opportunity in the future. And without the thinking about the future, we cannot truly understand the past, the value that the past brings to us, the power we have from the past. So, whenever you face any uncomfortable situation or any terrible experience, please do not shaming, do not blaming any people or anything. Take some action. we need some action to stop that kind of terrible experience. We need some action to prevent that from the future. We need to ensure that in the future, our children, our next generation, will never have to face that kind of terrible experience again. So that is my definition of what is sustainable education. And that definition is not limited within the scope of formal education. It also can be expanded to the other scope like the family or local communities learning. So rather than defining what is sustainable education, or in general, what is education, I would like to invite all of you to think about what is not education. Thank you for listening.